previously discussed the circular economy matrix, introducing the complexity of circular business models and the fact that changes made at the company level are not enough to guarantee the transition towards circular economy. Around a circular company, indeed, there is a need for a circular ecosystem to be in place, as well as it is needed to have a favorable context for its growth. In this video, we will explore these further levels of the circular business model by looking beyond the individual company. When it comes to the implementation of circular economy, scholars and practitioners usually approach it by separating three different levels of implementation: micro, meso, and macro implementation level. The micro level refers to the single company aiming to implement the transition from a linear to a circular economy in its production system through the adoption of circular managerial practices. The meso level refers to a network of companies, therefore to the business ecosystem, in which several companies, circular and linear, cooperate to jointly apply circular economy principles at the network level. Finally, the macro level refers to a larger scale, namely the city, province, region, and national scale, involving a shift from linear to circular economy not only in companies and manufacturers, but also in all other sectors and in the social and cultural system. As already mentioned, the transition from linear to circular economy is nowadays tough and far from being completed, because different factors are required to implement circular economy transition and fully benefit from its potential. We can further explore these factors, linking them to the three implementation levels of circular economy. From a micro perspective, the transition towards circular economy requires internal factors such as management commitment, digital technologies, implementation management, product redesign and innovation, business model redesign and innovation. From a meso perspective, the transition towards circular economy requires external factors, such as supply chain collaboration. From a macro perspective, the transition towards circular economy requires contextual factors, such as favorable regulatory framework. We already discussed at length the internal factors related to the micro perspective and the design for eggs practices, so it is worth devoting more attention to the other two dimensions. Starting from above, at the macro level, the regulatory framework could favor or hinder the implementation of circular economy principles by companies. The regulatory framework sets the context in which companies operate and encompasses supporting schemes, objectives, norms, and laws. Supporting schemes could represent a lever for companies willing to adopt circular economy principles, but lacking, for instance, the adequate financials to undergo the transitions. Besides, the regulatory framework includes not only supporting schemes, but also sustainability objectives and innovative norms and laws. The former could push even skeptical companies to implement circular economy, and the latter could, for instance, favor the reuse of secondary raw materials and be an opening to value resources formerly considered as waste. The meso level is of particular interest, as it somehow connects internal changes by individual companies to the external context, making the transition towards circular economy a reality. Indeed, product redesign, innovation, and design for eggs practices call for supply chain collaborations and partnerships. Design for eggs practices involves not only the company producing and designing the single product per se, but also the whole supply chain, meaning the actors involved and responsible for different parts of the supply chain. Indeed, when designing a product, designer must consider all the product's useful life and not only the production life stage managed by the company, designing and or manufacturing the product itself. The whole product's useful life has to be considered from the starting design phase in order to be able to close the loop and not to have mismatches among the subsequent product useful life stages. And it also claims to create collaboration and partnerships at the level of reverse supply chain. In a word, to create a circular ecosystem. Circular ecosystems have been recently defined by scholars as a community of hierarchically independent, yet interdependent, heterogeneous set of actors who collectively generate a sustainable ecosystem outcome, namely, a system-level outcome typified by circular processes of recycling, reuse, and reduce. The development of an effective circular ecosystem can be achieved only through collaboration among all the companies belonging to this context, including also linear companies and other companies not already involved in the existing business ecosystem, but instrumental to the establishment of the circular one, as it is the case of companies specialized in demanufacturing or post-use treatments, to facilitate the business model transition towards a circular economy. Collaboration might also be fundamental to leverage on new competencies, skills, and resources when jointly designing new circular products. Besides, collaboration could unfold new avenues to capture value and open new market opportunities. To conclude, we recap the main concepts of today's lectures: the different levels of implementation of circular economy, the interconnection between micro and meso level, the factors required to the transition from linear to circular economy, and the need for the emergence of circular ecosystems to fully exploit the benefits of circular economy.